Welcome, Marketing the Muse followers. I'm Marla Miller from marlamiller.com, presenting another quick query critique, and this one's number 70, so we've been doing it for a while. Don't have too many announcements other than we will be selling workshops very, very soon. I'm just waiting for my web guy to get the things in order that have to be on the site so that you can purchase workshops that I hope that you will find very helpful. But until that time, please clicking on and listening to the quick query critiques. The workshops that I'll be selling are extensions of that. And for those of you who have query letters, send them in because you get the first one done for free. Any redos will cost $10, but the first one is always for free. So let me read this one, and it's a novel. Okay, here we go. Dear blank, she has an agent in mind. When a curious Emma Brown follows a crow over a half-hidden path in the Arizona desert to a village, the story collector finds a tale that will change her and the residents forever. Emma searches for a new life. Running from heartache, she leaves her job and takes to the road to gather stories of America's greatest generation. On September 11, 2001, she arrives in Weeping Women Springs, a village devoid of children, but filled with old women still living in the past. The mystical spring feeding this Arizona town provides hope and vitality to all who drink from it, except the women, since the war deaths of their men folk. The women plunge into grief so deep they retreat from the world. 50 years later, Emma meets Maxine, a widow who slips in and out of dementia, and Liv, a stern woman who wants Emma to leave. Both women are intent on hiding the newcomer's presence from their other residents. Against her wishes, Emma chooses to stay and unravel their mystery. When Emma is attracted to Brad, a man escaping his own past, she has a choice to make: stay in this place, which promises love and community, or continue running. Spanning more than 50 years, Weeping Women Springs weaves historical vignettes of the townspeople with Emma's story. It explores the extremes of heart-ending loss and the effects of life-altering choices. My short stories have been published at blank and blank. Please consider Weeping Women Springs for your historical fiction pitch contest. This historical novel set in a fictional Arizona town during World War II is complete at approximately 72,000 words. Thank you for your time. Okay. I'm just checking my time because I'm trying to keep these short, or short enough. Okay. Now, I'm going to bet that those of you listening to this got as lost as I did. I'm just going to bet that. I think that's a pretty safe bet. All right. First of all, let me say that while she has put in the timeline here, she hasn't put it in any kind of chronology that we can follow. We find out that she's going to be writing a story about America's Greatest Generation, which I believe Tom Brokaw, I guess they're called World War II demographic is called America's Greatest Generation. Okay. Except in the second paragraph, she talks about this story opening on September 11th, 2001. So, I really don't know what this story is about, and I don't want to be unkind, but I really don't know what this story is about. It's about, I know that there's vignettes in here because she tells me that there are, and I know that, and it could be that those vignettes are part of the short stories that she has gotten published, and this could be the case of an author taking short stories and trying to make them into a novel, a bigger story. If that's the case, it's been done, it can be done, but in my opinion, it would require a writer with a lot of talent, a lot of ability to craft short stories into longer pieces. So I think that she wanted to pitch this to a writing contest. I don't know, this came in late June, and I put her on the list, so I don't know if that contest was passed. I'd be very interested to hear if she did present this query letter, if she got any response from it. I don't think it's just me. I think that this is a case of a query letter that is just disorganized. And when a query letter is disorganized, you can hear it as well as read it. And the reason why I read them out loud in real-time workshops and here is for the benefit of the listener. If you were able to follow me in this query letter, chances are this query letter has very few speed bumps. If you were not able to follow me as I read this query letter, chances are this query letter has a lot of speed bumps, and I believe that it absolutely does have a lot. So I would say back to the drawing board for this author, and take a look at it, because she has parts of it that could be reworked, at least to get a timeline. I think the first order of business for this author is to get a timeline of this story. It may start in 2011 on 9/11, but it goes back 50 years. Perhaps you want to start 50 years ago and come forward. I don't know. It's your story. But I know that in its current form, in this query letter, it's very confusing, and you don't want to send a letter that confuses an agent, because what will that agent do to that letter? She'll discard it and say, oh, well, next, and go on to the next letter. And we don't want agents to do that. So that's why this kind of service is very useful to writers on the road to publication, because you send it here first, and I'll let you know if it's working or not. And this one, unfortunately, isn't, but writing is rewriting, and I hope that this author takes this critique in the intention in which it's given, which is to offer constructive criticism. Until the next time, be well, keep writing.